about pushing the agenda, or it is about the strategy?
About service delivery.
Okay.
Only that I'm new into politics.
Okay.
People tend to think that women in such a huge office, how are they going to give service? How are they going to manage the battles? How are they going to manage so many things? And it's more about that, but it's more about service delivery. People need service delivery. People need new energy. I bring new energy because I've not been in this political scene. I'm not really into politics. I really just want to deliver. How
do you find the road so far, especially that you are new to it, and someone out there would be thinking, what is that which tickled you to get into this? Something that you are totally not a part of, but you think it is time to step on?
First of all, I had this dream. I had this vision since 2018, 2017.
Oh, really?
And yes, I was in Europe then. But my work involved coming back and forth. My work involved marketing Uganda to Europe. And I just felt like Kampala is the living room of our country.
You're right.
Kampala deserves better. Kampala deserves someone with a voice. Kampala is, people are tired of political wars. People need service delivery. So in 2018, I said that I'm going to come and I'm going to contest. And indeed I came. Only that I was disqualified by EC, saying that, number one, I was from diaspora and had not lived back for 5 years, and that my NIN number did not have that I'm a voter, something of the sort.
You were not a
registered voter. So I was patient. I said, I'll be patient. I went, I became a farmer. I grew coffee, almost 50 acres. And I continued my work of being on the ground, promoting our culture, empowering women and the youth. Meanwhile, I'm studying the ground. And what I've seen is, I can't even describe it because people are really badly off. 75% of our people in Kampala are living in slums. The youth are unemployed. Most of the youth are unemployed. We are having this issue of the ghetto children. We need to tackle the issue of ghetto children, but not in the angle of how we are approaching it. We need to approach it from the ground, from the parents. What is causing this? Why are they so much on the street? Then we need to tackle the corporate youth because they also need their voices heard. The corporate youth are those youth right now I'm working with. They've got the skills. They built up the website for me. They are doing the technical work for me. They are running around. We need to keep them busy by coming up with more technical vocational institutions, by opening up more industrialization, by doing a lot. So I was on the ground for 5 years.
For 5 years, I'm waiting to take up the seat. Let's get to look at the actual conversation. Kampala, like you said, being the living room of the country. But there's been more political battle than the work that has been delivered to the expectation of the people of Kampala. How different is it going to be when Beatrice Mao is given the seat by the people of Kampala?
You need to remember that when NRM got into power, in 1986, almost half of the cabinet was DP.
You're right.
Half of the cabinet was DP. When DP was in Kampala, during the times of Sebana Chizito, Seya, it was not as chaotic as it is now. You need to remember
While
that
it was still KCC and not KCC, the transformation.
exactly, and you need to remember right now we are in cooperation with the ruling government. Any leader, regardless of opposition, regardless of the ruling party, the moment people vote you to serve them, you need to get on the table. So what new do I bring? I'm bringing every stakeholder on the table so that we can change our capital city. It brings the highest revenue. It is where every business happens. So I need to bring everybody on the table. Okay. I'm going to be the voice of the people.
Are you also launching or using your cooperation with the National Resistance Movement as a launchpad into this conversation? Because what has clearly appeared is the ping pong between the technical wing and the political wing. The technical wing looking at the elected versus those who are actually appointed. You think your election would be able to bring a sort of level ground?
I so think so because first of all, the technical wing and then the government wing, we can work together.
Okay.
I can be the voice, and the fact that now we have a cooperation, we have a working relationship. Kampala needs collaboration. Kampala needs someone who will bring everybody on the table for service delivery.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the key concerns of Kampala. And one of the most recent having been the unfortunate incident that happened to the traders in Kampala, because that all stems from the drainage system of the city. What's your thought about that? Because you were talking about ghettos, you were talking about some of the slums. One of the biggest issues being drainage in those areas, sanitation being extremely key. What is the plan of Beatrice Mao in that regard for the people of Kampala?
Kampala, in each and every division where I have been, there's a problem of drainage.
Yes.
There's a problem of flooding. What causes the flooding? That is the clogging of waste. There is a lot of waste. People need to know that the polythene bags are very bad for the environment. So what do I bring on the table, or what new? First of all, you need to educate the citizens that we need to protect the environment. How? We need to protect the environment by having more green, by planting more trees, by dealing with the waste management, by not building in the wetland. People have built up in the wetland. What causes that? Because City Hall is engulfed in corruption. We need to deal with the issue of corruption. How do we deal with the issue of corruption? We need to bring everything in black and white. We need to create a system that works for everybody. That I don't need to first go to the president and say this road needs to be done, this drainage system is this, the budget is there, he can monitor it on the system, which is what they call digitalization. We need that in place. That is the only thing that is going to reduce on corruption. That is the only way people are going to know where their revenues are going, how the government is spending money. We need to put up a system that is very, very clear, that people can know this is the budget, this is how it's been spent.
Talking about waste, which is a very important one, it comes on the heels of the disaster and tragedy in Chitezi, particularly. And we've continued with the same problems, waste management, because we collect just about 40 to 60% of the waste that is produced in Kampala. What's your plan on that? Because even as currently, when we talk about landfills, these are getting outdated. We've talked about being able to turn our waste into maybe fertilizer or something like that, or energy, things that have not been propelled forward as much. How are you going to be able to deal with this as first of all, a mother who is coming into this, because you come into the rest more like a mother in the conversation?
I said in the beginning that we need to go back to the basics. We need to educate our people that throwing polythene bags is wrong. And I remember some time back they had banned those Buveras or
the
something.
small micron bags.
Yeah, then they came back. So we need first of all to educate people. Every country where you're changing a system or you're doing something, you need to first educate people. You tell people this is wrong, this is right. Now, what puzzles me is that I've been moving around and I'm meeting the KCCA workers grabbing that waste using their hands. Who does that? Who does that in 2021? So basically it's like the government cannot even afford the basics. Is that what the government? No, is that what the government is trying to tell us? Mm-hmm. Is that what the government is trying to tell us, that they can't afford even the basics? So for me, I'm saying that in my 100 days, there's a lot I can do, because even God says that the people will be helped. You help people that have helped themselves. So it is the same. Like the government will come in and help people but they also need to help themselves. Because don't tell me that it's the government that tells people sit in a taxi and throw rubbish out of the window. Do you get what I mean? Mm-hmm, it is not the government that comes and says, oh, you know what? Sit in the bus, eat your cassava and throw rubbish or throw kavera out. No, we need a tough system. We need to be tough. You remember the time of Jennifer Mosisi, people would not step in the grass because it was very clear, 100,000 fine. Or you go and do community work. We need tough love. I'm a mother, but I need tough love. I've been educating those people that want to come on board to campaign. I'm telling them, yes, I'm using volunteers. Come as a volunteer, but don't come here thinking that, oh, I'm going to pay you this and that. Oh, Mom, I just need 2K. I'm like, what is 2K going to do for you? We need to think beyond that. And that is what also happening to our kids. You educate a child up to university and they are selling your land to come and buy a boda of 5 million and they end up paying like 12 million. And then at the end of the day, it is taken. Has Kampala become a border? We stop at border riding.
That is what it is. That is. But even before we go back to the borders, you're talking about educating people about waste disposal. But away from just even the waste disposal of plastic, polythene, and all that, even the biodegradable waste that is not clearly collected, it's not being utilized. Look at the waste coming in from the markets, the different markets, Nakawa, Kalere, talk about it, Rubaga, that are in the city. Even that waste alone is not well collected. I am looking at what your plan is going to be, of course, based on